Yo, what's going on, YouTube friends and family? Hope everybody's doing great. You already know what time it is. Another edition of the Kenny and Manny Show. Woo! Yo, Manny, how you doing, baby? How you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. Just chilling, praying for everybody that just kind of experienced the hurricane. Hopefully,
Yep.
everyone is safe and sound. Make sure to, check on your friends, your homies, your loved ones. But yeah,
hmm
man, I'm doing good. We're doing something a little different today. But before we get into all of that, man, you already know what time it is for me, bro. It's another day,
What
another
is it?
dollar, baby.
Another
Another
day, another dollar, bro.
dollar, baby. You know, man. So what's up, bro? Talk to me, man. What's going on?
Shit, man. A lot is going on, man. It's just content after content, news after news, man. Shit, I don't even know where to start, man. But
Well, let me help you on. Let me help you out with that, brother. Let me help you out with that,
please,
man.
please,
So,
please help me out, man.
hey, man, listen. You see the thumbnail. You see the title. This is our new weekly roundup that we're bringing to you guys. So pretty much, we're gonna try to do this every week towards the end of the week. So please let us know if you guys like this. So we're just gonna touch on a few subjects. We might have already covered a subject, maybe we didn't, but again, we kind of just
Mhm.
want to give you an overview of the week because stuff is
Yeah,
crazy and a lot happens, man. But enough of the chit chat.
let's
Let's get
get
right
right to it,
into it,
baby.
boys. All right, man. So first up, trans athlete. Your thoughts on that, bro?
Oh,
Before I go, and I do have a little clip I want to play for you guys. But what's your thought, bro?
listen, well, let's just start with trans people. If it's your decision to want to make that transition to becoming a male or a female, I respect it totally. It is
Yes,
what it
sir.
is. But people have to realize biology is biology. All right. I'm
Yes,
open to
sir.
hearing other people's arguments, other people's mindset in regards to, trans athletes. But I personally feel like if you're born a guy, even if you identify yourself as a woman, you're still going to have that advantage, right? There's a reason
Mm-hmm.
why there's the WNBA. There's a reason why it's the NBA, right? Men
Yes,
can jump
sir.
higher, they're stronger, they have more lung capacity, they have more bone density. No matter what kind of hormone replacement you can possibly do, as a natural born male, you're always going to have that advantage. And a
Mm-hmm.
female transitioning to becoming a man, you're always going to have that disadvantage. So, Mother Nature is Mother Nature, natural law is natural law. Wanted to keep it simple. That's all I got to say about that.
Definitely, man, bro. I mean, you hit it right on the head, man. And just to kind of piggyback of what you said, the
Mm-hmm.
bone density,
Mm-hmm.
the bigger lung capacity and all that good stuff.
All of that.
I feel like there is one way to kind of level the playing field. You know how that is to go ahead and have a baby boy. And again, not that I condone this, but I'm just kind of giving you an example,
Right.
guys.
Correct.
Taking a baby boy and start giving them female hormones, estrogen and stuff like that, since they're a baby, to stop any advantages that the male body
Mhm.
or hormones will do once they hit puberty. That's ludicrous, right? We won't do such a thing, simply because when there's a baby, you don't know what the baby's going to turn out. Usually, boys, they don't start, they start realizing, that they're different. Typically, when they're, old enough to kind of critical think and things of that nature, by then they're still too young. By the time that they're old enough to even do anything, guess what? They already went through puberty, so they're going to have all of those advantages already. But enough of that. Again, jabber. Let's go ahead and get into the video a little bit. Let's see what they have to say. Let's see kind of what opinions they have, bro, and we kind of we go from there. All right, man. So let's kick it off.
Hit it. Let's get to it, bro.
Yes, sir.
Athletes have an unfair advantage. Step forward if you agree.
When you first think about like transgender athletes, I guess the first thing you think about is, well, biologically, transition usually happens after puberty, right? So if
Uh huh.
this biologically male athlete goes through puberty, he gets like better bone structure, he has all these skills that he enhances, all these muscle that he puts on, and then he transitions. Yes, your testosterone levels go down, but you're always just gonna have that like
It's echoing.
things that
It's
you've gone
echoing.
through, like through
Echo.
puberty that you have.
Is echoing, bro? My bad. Let me try to just kind of reposition this. But again, I wanted to pause it there anyways. Again, kind of that's so far what she stated is she's kind of pretty much, no pun intended, she's echoing some of the same things that we're saying at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
After you transition. So I feel like there's always going to be that advantage. I think it's dependent on the gender that they are transitioning to. For example, trans women do have somewhat of an advantage. Biological men are naturally born with higher bone density and larger lung capacity and a larger heart, and that's not something that can necessarily be changed with hormones. Of course, this isn't the same for trans men athletes.
For me, it's just on average, guys are typically a little bit stronger, a little bit larger, a little bit taller.
A little bit.
So
A little bit.
depending on the
Come on,
sport.
bro.
Yeah, I think
He's
a
humble.
little bit more than that. Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, put LeBron James with Candace Parker. Let me see how that works out.
Yeah.
LeBron James is going to be a little. No
Yeah, it's a
regard for
little-
human life. No remorse.
Just a little.
Just a little. Yeah, you're
Sport
humble. I like it.
especially, it can give them a large advantage when you're looking at something like that. When it's something like swimming, having that ability to be a little bit larger lung capacity will overall affect that.
Can I have the disagreeer step forward?
All right, so we're gonna have a different look. Let's see if any of you guys kind of agree with this stuff.
Among cisgender men and cisgender women, there are naturally differences in their anatomy, in their hormonal levels, in their height, bone structure, all that stuff. Like any cisgender woman compared to another might have a different body type. Some women are naturally very strong. If you take
And kind of to his point, it seems that based on the thing we saw there, right, Sydney, Australia, tennis player.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to our boy Nixon Talks, man, out there in Australia. But
Shout out to Nixon, man.
yes, sir. So let's just kind of using him as an example, right, or his profession. Maybe he's a professional player. I don't know. Tennis player. Imagine Serena Williams, which is probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, female athlete of all time. Let's go ahead and see. Let's see how she pairs up against, say, Rafael Nadal or Djokovic. Let's see how she would play against those guys. And again, and keep in mind, you're right. I think she's going to hold her own, and she's going to definitely get some games in there as well. I think she's going to win some rounds for sure. But we're talking about the greatest athlete, right, in the female world.
That's the minority. That's the minority.
Exactly. And then think about if, she were to go against a guy that is going to be stronger, faster, and keep it. Hey, man, think about this also. In tennis, there's no like physical contact or any of that stuff like in basketball or football. It's very adamant right away. You're gonna see the discrepancy immediately. At least in tennis, you can kind of with skill sets, the trajectory of how you're hitting the tennis and stuff like that. You can kind of try to mitigate that as much as possible. Mm-hmm. But even then, and eventually, once the stamina or fatigueness starts to kind of kick in, you'll be able to see who has the greater lung capacity, who has the greater stamina, things of that nature. It's going to play a role, especially on a big. Hey, keep this in mind. If I'm not mistaken, I believe in women's competition, I think they only play best out of what? It's like best out of 5 or something. I mean, hey guys, I haven't played like tennis or tennis games in a while, but I know that the men. Yeah. Actually, funny enough, guys, I've worked at a tennis shop before. Fun fact, in New York. Yes, I did. That was a very long time ago. But yeah, there's definitely going to be a discrepancy of how many sets they're playing. So something else to think about. So, all right, let's go ahead and finish this up.
The advantage, which I think in most cases is the hormones. And if you compare the blood work and you're just looking at that, if they're on the same level, in my opinion, there just isn't an advantage because when you grow up playing sports, some people are good at sports, some people aren't.
The problem I see with this argument is that there's a large group of people that no matter what I do in a sport, will always automatically assume that I have an advantage. But they're not taking into account hours that I put into practice, hours that I put into weightlifting to become a better athlete. Roller derby is probably 90+% cis women. I get my ass handed to me.
So really quick, bro, and I think we could just pretty much end the video on that note. We kind of heard a little bit more from both sides.
Both perspectives. My shit still stands what I believe in, man. I mean,
yeah.
You know, I don't care if Candace Parker, with her skills, she decides to become a guy. She's not going to be able to guard a 6'4" guard in NBA. She's 6'4", right? Okay, she's not going to be able to guard. Let's say if D Wade was still playing, or James Harden, and it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen, man. And to his point, that he's saying like, oh, you're going to naturally have already disadvantage, and people are not taking into account the time that you're putting in. Well, here's the thing: the argument when somebody's making the argument, naturally you have to compare to the best of your capabilities. You have to compare apples to apples, right? So we are assuming that these individuals are going to be somewhat in the same playing field, right? So you want to compare similar weights. Similar, everything you want it to be as close as possible, and see who's going to edge it out at the end, right? And again, we have studies, we've seen studies, man. And again, I'm going to go ahead and put one in the link myself that you guys can look at.
Yeah.
But again, for like the tennis player mentioned that, and that's kind of the common one that people say, well, if you look at the blood work, if you look at the like the hormones and stuff like that, yeah, that's now. But all the advantages, as we stated before,
still going to be there.
Else, it's still going to be there. That you cannot undo that.
There.
You just can't. You cannot reverse that. So yeah, man. So I mean, that's it for that, bro. I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward. Again, I'll have the link in the description.
I respect other people's opinion, but ultimately, science is science, biology is biology. I mean, you guys can't.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
if that's the case, why not? I'm pretty sure there's women that they probably thought of becoming transgender. I highly doubt you could put the best guard in the WNBA, change her hormones, and put her against the best guard in the NBA. Not going to happen. You're not going to put a 6'5" player in the WNBA, change her hormones, and all of a sudden she's going to be able to obtain a 40-inch vertical leap.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen.
Point.
It's not going to happen. Bro. You're not going to have a girl start just because she becomes a guy. All of a sudden, she's going to jump 45 inches. Will she be able to have the same explosiveness as a Russell Westbrook? Will she have the same explosiveness as all these guards in the NBA? Not going to happen, bro. So it's like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely not, man. So that's a great point that you used it the other way around, because again, that's the other side of the coin, right? Where that's where you make it into a disadvantage, right? Where if you take a woman and you convert her into a man, now she's going to be at he at that point is going to be at a disadvantage. So great call out, bro. Appreciate that, man. So again, we'll go ahead and end it on that note for that particular section. Kind of moving along, man. So let's kind of just go now into Lil Nas X, man. What you think about that, man? Talk to me, bro. What you think
I don't want to get canceled, man. Listen, I respect everyone's viewpoints, but it's just weird. You guys got to understand, when you grow up a certain way, believing in certain ideologies. Listen, I'm very open-minded. It's a cultural shock. It's a cultural shock. So for those of you that condone it, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but you have to some way see that how we think. Put yourselves in our shoes, right? To me, it's weird. To me, I don't agree with it, but I respect it, if that makes sense. I respect everyone's individuality, everyone's identity, but it's just weird to me. I'm a woman is supposed to be pregnant, right? It is what it is, but teach his own.
Definitely, bro. And I'm right there with you, man. Again, I know this could be a sensitive topic for some. I think this is something that is sacred for women. And I understand that, we live in a world where everything is about equality, but some things are just are left to biology. We can't say, hey, man, you know what? It's unfair that birds can fly and we can't. And all of a sudden we're going to try. And I mean, granted, I know people are going to say, well, we have, skydivers, I wish I could fly. So,
take out the parachute, see what happens. Take out the parachute, see what happens.
Exactly, man. So there's some things that we try so much to control, by like biology, like what is it, like biologic and stuff like that, man. It's just not gonna work, man. I get it. It's all about equality, but we have to understand what we can and cannot do, man. And again, I'm with you on that. I think it is a little bit weird. I know his album, shout out to Lil Nas X. I know his album is dropping this September 17, which is actually a date after my birthday. So shout out to me as well. I will be
Shout out to the
here.
big homie. Let's do it.
Yes, sir, man. But so again, man, hopefully, it's a big hit. And I know that he was kind of, it was a play of words. His baby is really his album. I'm sure he put a lot of work into it, which I'm sure, I'm okay with that. I think the photo is a little graphic, a little much.
I still can't believe it.
Yeah, it's a little much, man. Again, this is something that I feel that is sacred for women. They go through it's a tough time. It's a hard 9 months for them. So shout out to women as well, man, because it's not easy.
Absolutely.
And they do give life, man.
Give life, absolutely.
On that note, bro, kind of bringing it back and talking about babies. Here it goes, man. We're gonna wrap it up with not Lil Nas, but Lil Melo. Lil Melo. Yes, man. Lil Melo. Come on, bro. Come on, man. LeVar warned you about this, man. So let's talk about this a little bit, bro. So right now, hey, it's still speculation. It's still rumors, but we heard Anna, she talked, right? That how can you love something that you haven't even met? That sounds to me like a baby or Jesus Christ himself, one or the other. So what's up, bro? Talk to me, man.
Let's just hope that is Jesus Christ himself. Let's just hope that for LaMelo Ball's sake. Listen, we obviously see LaMelo Ball has a taste. Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. No bad.
Okay, see. Yeah, so we all know LaMelo Ball has a specific taste, right? It's based on his choice of women. He likes the experienced women. He likes the women with more experience in the bedroom, older, more mature. Nothing wrong with that. But you also have to understand there's pros and cons. Due to the fact that women are older than you, they're going to try to find a way to finesse you. They have more experience. They've been doing this stuff before you've been hit puberty, right? So from my understanding, this woman is 13 years his senior. Listen, nothing wrong with engaging in intimacy, but we've been saying this is the PJ Washington. You gotta wear condoms. Not trying to be a guru, not trying to be a sensei, nothing like that. But if you're gonna be a professional athlete or entertainer, you gotta understand there's gonna be women out there that are going to want to take your seed. You have to protect your seed. You want to bust nuts? You gotta wear the condom. Condoms should be a non-negotiable. You feel like it takes away the feeling? Wear bearskin. Try to do as much research as possible, but don't put your financial. Listen, you could put your financial future, your financial thing in jeopardy just by having kids. Out of nowhere, look at PJ Washington. He has a $4 million contract, and if it's true that he has to pay $200,000 a month, let's do the math. $200,000 times 12 months. That's $2.4 million. That's over half his contract over a kid that a woman doesn't even want to be with PJ. So LaMelo, if this is not, hopefully is not true, but if it's true, LaMelo, you've been warned. You have to learn from others. You have to learn from other people around you. That's what I got to say about that.
Definitely, bro. Right there with you, man. I certainly agree. 100%. I think that there's no excuse, man. I know right now, with all the money coming in, all the clout, fame, everything that he's getting, I know that it's kind of the last thing you want to hear, somebody to tell you what you should do. And again, man, she's a pretty bad girl, man. She's a baddie, as they would say, right? She's definitely an attractive woman. I can understand that. But they're everywhere. They're everywhere. To your point, man.
So you're gonna pregnant every single girl you come across?
Right. And I know
Lonzo Ball was different. Lonzo Ball was different because that girl was high school sweetheart. That was high school sweetheart. She probably didn't understand basketball like that. She was with him before he was ranked top 10. You know what I'm saying? So she's always been around.
Definitely, man. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. It's these women are getting smarter and they're pretty much doing the scouting. So these dudes really better, tighten up,
adapt
and see the game. They have to adapt, and it starts with that self-awareness, man. You know that we preach that all the time, not only for men but also for women. It's all about having that self-awareness, ladies and gentlemen. And
it's either women are getting smarter or men are getting dumber.
It's both. It's both, man. I mean, keep in mind that we're exposed to new things now with the internet, right? So women are now realizing, wait a minute, Why go for ballers when we can go for future ballers? We can go for them before they become arrogant, before the fortune and fame, right? We can
Their brains are still
spot
developing.
them. They're still in development, man, and they're not gonna have that swag just yet, right? Some of them do, right? Like a Mikey William type of kid, he has that little swag already. But some of them are not gonna have the swag. You know what I'm saying?
That's a different story for another day. I mean, he's too young to be in committed relationships, and he's been on and off. And from my understanding, he's been doing relationships, and Michael Williams got that swag, but I could see it can happen to anybody. To be honest, it's all about honestly mentorship, having an older peer really guiding these young athletes. To be honest, I mean, but LeVar warned them, but I guess it just wasn't enough.
Wasn't enough, man. But again, man, that pretty much rounded up for us. Again, our weekly roundup. Again, if it's videos like this, ladies and gentlemen, that you guys want to see, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below, man. Let us know what you guys think about the trans athlete. Let us know what you think about Lil Nas X with his little baby dropping out September 17th. And lastly, what do you think about the Melo situation, man, with Anna here, 32-year-old, soon to be cougar, right? Because we live in a fast world, man. So she's already heading down that road, man. But
these
cougars
are not joking. They're not playing around. Man, these cougars.
They're not playing around, bro. They're not playing around, man. So you gotta just, curve and be out there, finessing, make sure you're not getting finessed and all that stuff, man. But
stressful.
That's just stressful. That pretty much rounds it up, bro. I got nothing else, man. You got
I ain't got shit to say, man. I'm ready to know. Like and subscribe, man.